Hey there, fellow green thumbs. Welcome back to Ruth Haven Grounds. Today I'm sharing something that honestly had me scratching my head when I first heard about it. Propagating bananas with Coca-Cola? I know. It sounds like one of those wild internet gardening myths that makes you wonder if someone's pulling your leg. But after testing this technique in my own garden and digging deep into why it actually works, I'm here to tell you there's real science behind this seemingly bizarre method. Let me walk you through exactly how to use this super special technique to get your banana plants thriving faster than you ever thought possible. Before we dive into the how-to, let's talk about the why, because understanding the science makes you a better gardener. Coca-Cola isn't just sugar water in a can. It contains several compounds that create surprisingly beneficial conditions for root development. The phosphoric acid in Coke lowers the pH slightly, which can help break down the outer tissue of banana corms and suckers, making it easier for roots to emerge. The sugar content provides an immediate energy source for the developing plant tissue, essentially giving your propagation material a quick boost when it needs it most. Here's what really fascinated me during my research. The carbonation in Coca-Cola releases carbon dioxide, and when applied to plant tissue, this can actually stimulate cellular activity and encourage faster root development. Additionally, the trace minerals and compounds in Coke can act as mild rooting stimulants. Now, I'm not saying Coca-Cola is better than commercial rooting hormones across the board, but for banana propagation specifically, this method has shown impressive results in both growth speed and root density. The success of any propagation technique starts with choosing healthy material, and bananas are no exception. You want to work with suckers or pups that are at least 12 inches tall, what we call sword suckers because of their narrow, sword-like leaves. These have already established their own root system to some degree and respond incredibly well to the Coca-Cola treatment. When you're selecting your sucker, look for one that's vigorous with bright green leaves and no signs of disease or pest damage. The parent plant should be healthy too, because remember, you're essentially creating a clone. Avoid water suckers, which have broad leaves and tend to produce weaker plants. I've made that mistake before, and trust me, you'll save yourself months of disappointment by being selective from the start. The best time to separate suckers is during the growing season, when both the parent plant and the pup are actively growing. Now, let's get to the good stuff. The actual preparation method that makes this technique so special. First, you'll want to carefully separate your chosen sucker from the mother plant using a sharp, sterilized spade or knife. Cut at least 4 to 6 inches away from the main corm to ensure you're getting a good portion of the root system. Don't worry if the roots look a bit damaged. That's actually where the Coca-Cola magic comes in. Once you've separated your sucker, trim away any dead or damaged roots and remove the lower leaves, leaving only the newest 2 or 3 leaves at the top. This reduces water loss and helps the plant focus its energy on root development rather than maintaining foliage. Now here's where it gets interesting. Take regular Coca-Cola, not diet, not Coke Zero, but the original formula, and dilute it with water at a ratio of 1 part Coke to 3 parts water. This dilution is crucial because full-strength Coke can actually be too harsh and might damage the tender root tissue. Pour this solution into a bucket or container deep enough to submerge the bottom third of your banana sucker, including the corm and any existing roots. Let it soak for anywhere from 2 to 4 hours. I've found that 3 hours hits the sweet spot for most varieties, but you can experiment based on how your specific banana cultivar responds. During this soaking period, the Coca-Cola solution penetrates the tissue, stimulating cellular activity and priming those roots for explosive growth. After soaking, it's time to get your sucker into the ground or a large container. Bananas are hungry, thirsty plants, so you need to set them up for success from day one. Choose a location with full sun. Bananas absolutely love heat and light. If you're in a cooler climate like I am, a south-facing spot with maximum sun exposure makes all the difference. Dig a hole about twice the width and depth of your banana's root system. Mix your native soil with plenty of compost. I'm talking a 50-50 ratio here. Bananas are heavy feeders, and that organic matter provides both nutrients and improves drainage, which is essential because while bananas love water, they absolutely hate sitting in waterlogged soil. Add a handful of balanced organic fertilizer to the planting hole, mixing it thoroughly with the soil. Place your Coca-Cola treated sucker in the hole, positioning it at the same depth it was growing before, and backfill with your soil mixture. Firm the soil gently around the base, creating a slight depression around the plant to help catch and hold water. Give it a thorough watering immediately after planting, and I mean really soak it. This helps settle the soil around the roots and eliminates air pockets that can dry out tender new growth. Here's where your dedication really pays off. For the first 2 weeks after planting, water your banana daily if you're not getting rain. Keep the soil consistently moist but not waterlogged. I check by sticking my finger about 2 inches into the soil. If it feels dry, it's time to water. This consistent moisture is absolutely critical during the establishment phase when your banana is pushing out those new roots stimulated by the Coca-Cola treatment. Every 2 weeks for the first 2 months, you can give your banana another boost by watering with diluted Coca-Cola solution, same ratio as before, about a gallon per plant. This continues to provide that sugar energy boost and maintains the growth momentum. I've compared growth rates between treated and untreated banana suckers side by side, and the Coca-Cola method consistently produces plants that establish faster and show visible growth about 2 to 3 weeks earlier. As your banana settles in and starts pushing new leaves, maintain a regular feeding schedule. I feed mine every 3 to 4 weeks during the growing season with a balanced fertilizer high in potassium. Bananas are potassium-loving plants, which makes sense when you think about it. Apply a thick layer of organic mulch around the base, keeping it a few inches away from the pseudostem to prevent rot. This mulch conserves moisture, suppresses weeds, and breaks down over time to feed the plant. Watch for new suckers emerging from the base of your plant. Bananas naturally produce multiple suckers, and you'll want to decide whether to remove them to concentrate the plant's energy or allow them to grow for future fruit production or additional propagation material. The beauty of this technique is that once you've got one banana going strong, you've essentially got an endless supply of propagation material. With the Coca-Cola propagation method, you can expect to see your banana plant establishing significantly faster than traditional methods. While conventionally propagated bananas might take 6 to 8 weeks to show strong growth, Coca-Cola treated suckers often show vigorous new growth in just 3 to 4 weeks. That accelerated timeline means you're getting to fruit production faster, and for those of us who get impatient waiting for garden results, that's pretty exciting. There you have it, friends, the complete guide to using Coca-Cola as a banana propagation supercharger. I genuinely love sharing these unconventional techniques with you because they remind us that gardening is as much about experimentation and observation as it is about following traditional methods. This Coca-Cola approach has become one of my favorite tricks here at Ruth Haven Grounds, and I can't wait to hear about your results. If you found this article helpful, do me a favor and subscribe to Ruth Haven Grounds so you never miss our next gardening adventure. Share this technique with your gardening friends, especially those banana enthusiasts who are always looking for ways to expand their tropical paradise. Drop a comment below telling me about your banana growing experiences or any questions you have about this method. Let's keep growing together, one experimental technique at a time. Until next time, keep those roots happy and those gardens thriving.